Hi, I'm Chief Rodriguez, and thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about our 2017 crime report that just came out, and we will be publishing this on our website, on the city's website, and of course in media releases. And we're happy to report that once again, the crime rate, the general overall crime rate in Brownsville has gone down. In this case, crime went down, reported by 12.71%, which is a continuing decrease overall. And I think this talks to and really shows how the Valley is a real safe place when you consider a lot of the bad information that's out there. One of our biggest successes has been in the preventable crimes that we rely on with the community to help us enforce and reduce. And that is going to be in the area of car thefts and burglaries of habitations. For example, in the auto theft area, 141 cars were stolen off the streets in Brownsville. 72 of them, or the majority of them, were taken from neighborhoods. So you're more likely to have your car stolen from your own driveway or parked in front of your street or in a residential area. What do we do to reduce the likelihood of a car theft? Make sure you lock your car, make sure that you keep your keys with you, park in a well-lit area, use anti-theft devices, anything you can to help us reduce the incidence of car thefts. In all of the reports, only 3 cars were stolen in motels, hotel areas, which is where obviously we have our visitors come and park, so we're happy about that. And in shopping centers, 52 cars were stolen while you're out shopping, which also means you need to park in a well-lit area, make sure you lock your car, take your keys with you, and get an anti-theft device, and that would help you, because we know that the inconvenience of having a car stolen and what it can be. Only 14 cars were stolen in apartment complexes, so this means people are looking out for each other, and it's less likely to happen in an apartment complex than in a residential area or a neighborhood. Burglaries, including burglaries of habitation. In 2017, we had 661 burglaries reported to us. That's a decrease from 1,590 that we had 10 years ago. So when you look at crime reports, you look at a 10-year trend, and you see your high points from years past versus year to year. The theft reports, for example, in 2017, we had 4,379 theft reports filed in Brownsville, as opposed to 8,200 that were filed in 2008. So we are really proud of our burglary unit because they are above the national average when it comes to solving burglaries and their clearance rate, just like our detectives are. But however, one of the things that is important is that we continue to work through community efforts in partnering up with homeowners and how to secure their homes. There's very little things that are as devastating as having your privacy invaded and somebody breaking into your home and going through your personal belongings, stealing hard-earned items that you own. We've talked about having a good record of your valuables, serial numbers, taking photographs, inventory. Just do a walkthrough through your home or your apartment and record everything you have. When you buy an expensive item, take a picture of it, and if it has a serial number attached to it, write that serial number down. Our burglar detectives count on being able to establish ownership when we recover stolen property. In the Brownsville Department, we have an evidence room, a property room, where a lot of the merchandise is recovered and held until we can get an owner to come in. When you have property that is itemized and cataloged and serial numbers documented and pictures taken, it helps us tremendously. And that we want to reunite owners with their property. And unfortunately, sometimes you can't do so if you don't have proof. So that applies to bicycles, camera equipment, electronics, anything portable that would be easily identified through identification and through photographs. Brownsville has an animal control department that we manage, and last year we had over 4,000 calls for service regarding loose dogs or dog disturbances. That we had over 463 animal bite calls. So that shows that we need to do a better job in securing our animals. We have to make sure our dogs and cats are vaccinated annually against rabies and other illnesses that they can face. But more importantly, we have to make sure that we don't let our dogs run loose. This is where we have cases of dog bites, and we have disturbances, and of course we'd hate to see our our pets harmed, run over, or otherwise stolen because they're not secured in their own residences or backyards. We also know that microchipping is required, dog tags. There are rabies clinics throughout the city, so stay on top of that. But at the end of the day, we don't want our pets harmed, but we also don't want people bitten, and of course, not being able to prove that dogs are vaccinated, for example. So the loose dog issue is still a concern for us, and we want people to be responsible for their dogs, and if not, be prepared if your dog is picked up to go through the process of trying to get the dog back, and hopefully that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to you. It's a preventable thing. We want you to assess your property and not let your dogs run loose. It's against city ordinance to let your dogs run loose no matter what. They have to be confined, and there's a leash law, for example, when you're taking your dogs out. And of course, there's also an ordinance that requires you to clean up after your dog if it makes a mess in public. Other than that, we want to also remind people that Brownsville is making strides in working on in its traffic issue. If you notice, there's construction being done on an on-ramp on northbound expressway by Sunrise Boulevard, which is in the Sunrise area, for the on-ramp before Morrison Road, to prevent motorists from crossing over solid white lines and then jumping onto the expressway. This creates a traffic hazard. Remember, it is illegal to cross a solid white line when you're merging into traffic and leaving traffic. The white lines are there for a purpose, and it's to control traffic and to prevent accidents. Crossing a solid white line is illegal and can result in a citation, but more importantly, can end up in an accident. We hope that you take a look at the crime report, as it is going to be posted on our city website in the very near future, to look at your convenience and look at trends and look at what you can do. Unfortunately, there are crimes that cannot be prevented by police, because a lot of crimes, such as crimes against persons, assaults, they're spontaneous, heat of the moment, or they're planned ahead of time, and those are really difficult to prevent. We can work with witnesses and victims, so always please report suspicious persons and report potential crime, such as suspicious persons in neighborhoods that you may suspect may be committing burglaries of vehicles, burglaries of habitations. We need to police our own neighborhoods. And don't make yourself an easy target. Watch when you're walking around with flashy jewelry, being careless about your surroundings, and don't make yourself an easy target for a case of a crime of opportunity, which is what we see. Overall, we think we're doing really well here along the border. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, do I feel safe walking in the streets of Brownsville? Thank you, and we appreciate your help. And for more information on this and other issues, follow us on Facebook and look us up at bpd.com. Thank you very much.